Hey everyone, welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star the Flippin' Hippo, and today we're going to talk about item specifics. Yes, again, we're going to talk about item specifics, but today we're going to specifically be talking about which ones you have to fill in and which ones are okay to leave blank. There seems to be a lot of confusion about this. I've seen a lot of posts in the Facebook group recently asking, well, what do I put in this box if it doesn't make sense or if I don't really know? And there seems to be this general consensus that every single box has to be filled in, and that is not the case. Now, granted, the more item specifics that you do have filled out, the more information you have on the listing, the better off you're going to be. Because if any buyer is searching for any of those item specifics, you're going to show up in the search results. There's going to be more information there for your buyer to make the decision before they purchase the item. So item specifics are good to fill out, as many as possible, to be as correct as you can and give as much information on an item. The waist size, the inseam, the material type. All of those are really good things to have just to give a well-rounded listing with tons of information and of course show up in more search results. But if you really don't have anything to put in every single box, you don't have to. There's a big difference between the required specifics and the suggested, and I think that's where people are getting confused. So I'm going to share my screen with you and show you, because they're clearly divided on the back end when you're filling them in, which ones are required and which ones are suggested. And if they're required, they do have to be filled in. And if you don't have the information to put there, you can put the NA or the unknown or whatever you want just to fill that box in so that you can get your listing up. But if it's under that line and it's just a suggested requirement or item specific and you don't know what to put there, you're okay leaving it blank. You don't have to fill in every single box on every single listing. At that point, I think you're just wasting time and you're spending too much time on each listing. If you know what to put in the box, you have a clear and concise measurement or type or whatever to put in that box, and you're just going down and filling it out because you know what you want to put, that is great. But if you're wasting time because you don't know what to put, or you're filling in every box that isn't necessary and stressing yourself out and putting an A in a bunch of spots, that's where you're wasting your time. So let me share my screen with you guys and show you exactly what I'm talking about so you can see what I mean. We are going to go to the first tab I have open here. This is just a template, one of our templates I opened as if I were going to list a pair of jeans. So this is the template I have set up for jeans, and I already have the category selected here. Your item specifics that show up for you to fill in are going to be based on what category you choose. So this is already chosen women's jeans for me. So we can go down here and I can show you required and recommended, or suggested as I like to call them. So there's required, and anything above this line right here, you can see this faint gray line. Anything up here is required and has to be filled in. Underneath that gray line, recommended. Now these are frequently searched for item specifics. So these recommended ones all the way down to this gray line, those are the ones that are most searched for by buyers. So you want to fill in as much of them as you can, but you don't have to fill in each and every single one. And then below that are the additional ones, not searched for as much. But if your jeans are distressed and you know they are, you can come down here to the additional and say, yes, they are. Not as important because it's not searched for. But if you know the answers here, you can put them in. There's denim, distressed, but the additional ones are even less important than recommended, and required you have to have. So these are the ones you need to have filled in. You have to have a color. If they're blue jeans, put blue. It doesn't matter if they're light, medium, or dark wash. They're blue jeans, they're blue. If your jeans are black, you'll put black. You put the brand here, and if they don't have a brand, you can always put unbranded. And then you want to pick your size, type, and your size. Pretty self-explanatory. It's these recommended ones I think people get stuck on. And if you don't know what to put, it's okay to leave it blank. It really is. The style I would absolutely put in because it's going to be required soon. That's one of the ones coming up in February. It's going to be required. So put your skinny or your boot cut, flared, whatever they are. And then just fill in as many of these as you can. You know, most jeans are solid. You can fill in the rise, which they now have, excitingly enough. They have the measurements here included, so there's no more guessing on the rise. If you measure your rise of your jeans, you know exactly where they're going to fall here. If it has an adjustable waist, an ankle zip. A lot of times I put here under the features, if I have not your daughter's jeans or Chico's so slimming or so lifting, you can add shaping and slimming there. You can put cotton blend, which most jeans are, or cotton. You want to add that. If they have a model, you can put that in. If they don't, feel free to leave it. I always put the waist and the inseam here. I'm going to put those down here anyway, so I might as well. But I don't worry about pocket tight or any of these. The leg opening is pretty much covered under style. So don't feel like you have to go down and fill in every single one of these boxes. Just fill in what you know. With jeans, you pretty much know a lot of this and you can go down and fill it in. But when you get to, you know, the model, you don't have to put NA. You can leave it blank if they're not a specific model. So I wanted to go over a shirt and a plush with you as well, because those item specifics are going to be different. So I've just pulled up a listing we already have of a teddy bear. And we'll go in on the shirt as well and look at the item specifics. So this is listed under the category of vintage stuffed animals. So the item specifics on this bear will even be different than what they would be on a Build-A-Bear. What is required is his size. No, that's only recommended. Okay, so the brand, the size, and the character family are all recommended. There are no requireds on this bear because he's vintage probably. Let's look at a Build-A-Bear brand because that threw me for a loop. I really thought the brand was recommended on everything. So we'll just pull up one real quick to look at with you guys. And we'll pull up this dog. So this has the category under dolls and bears, bears, Build-A-Bear. So yes, required is the brand. And then recommended is his type. He's a plush, his size. He doesn't have any features. And then additional, you know, sometimes if I know what those are, I'll fill them in. You can see there's a lot less on the plush than there were on the jeans. And then we'll look at the shirt. So this is a men's shirt that Keith listed. It's a graphic shirt, button front with cars on it. So let's see, the required is your brand, your short or long sleeve, your sleeve length, your size, type, size, and color. So that's all pretty much self-explanatory. And then when you get into the recommended is where you're going to be probably filling some out and leaving some blank. And that's okay because they're only recommended. Just pay attention to these required soons. On your jeans, that's going to be your style, which is basically your leg opening, whether it's skinny, flare, bootleg, straight leg, tapered, or anything like that. And then on these shirts, it's going to be the type. So this is a button up. It's got a theme. I'm going to go ahead and fill that in. We'll put cars. It's got pockets. Now the fabric type, you can leave blank if you don't really know what the fabric type is. If you're listing a woman's knit top, you could put knit. If you're listing jeans, you of course would put denim. But it's not required. So if you don't really have a fabric type for the article of clothing you're listing, you can leave it blank unless it's pretty self-explanatory like corduroy or denim. And then the material on this is rayon. So we'll go ahead and fill that in like that. And I'm going to leave the other stuff blank. So that's okay to do. And then you got your additional that you can fill in if you'd like. But don't feel so stressed out that you have to go in on these recommended and fill in every single one. Jeans have a lot too. So if you're listing jeans, you can see their item specifics have a lot more detail and a lot more boxes to fill in than the shirts and the plush. Just make sure you've got your required soon, anything you know for sure, for certain, and leave the rest blank and don't stress about it. You don't have to have every single box filled in. Just fill in what you know. Make sure you got the required. And on the required ones, if you don't know, of course, put NA. I do know that under new with tags stuff, a lot of times will ask you for a UPC. If you don't have that because you thrifted an item or it's a one-off piece of clothing, you can put NA or does not apply on the UPC if you have a new with tags piece of clothing. I've seen that question come up a lot too. So, don't be afraid to put new with tags, does not apply under the UPC. But these item specifics are really there to help you fill out as much information to give your buyer, to help them decide on the purchase, and also to help them search for your items and have them show up in searches. They're not there to stress you out or create more work for you. Well, I guess they are there to create more work for you because every time they change which ones are required, we all have tons more work on our plates. But don't stress out about it. If you have any more questions, comments, concerns about item specifics, let me know down in the comments below. Hit the thumbs up on your way out, guys. It really helps the channel. If you haven't already and you'd like to, please subscribe. Help us feed a hungry hippo. And don't forget to join our Facebook group. It's called Flippin Hippo's Reseller Pod. You can search for it on Facebook or use the link down below. Until next time, go be productive. Go make some money. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Y'all are the best. Bye.